Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Life Unfiltered with me. We truly are Life Unfiltered today, filming from the car. This episode is all about surviving in the middle of a storm. I don't know about you, but I have wanted to roundhouse kick well-meaning friends and family that when I'm in the middle of an absolute poop storm, tell me to just have faith. Just have faith. Because somehow that is a miraculous band-aid for everything that could go wrong in life. And I get it. I get the intent. I get the meaning, right? But often people think to have faith in a difficult situation, or having faith in a difficult situation, means I feel a certain way about that situation. And I don't know about you, but I don't always feel great when I'm going through a storm, or that things are going to work out fine. I, in my humanness, cannot always see the silver lining or the light at the end of the tunnel, and we all know how that ends. And so sometimes when people tell me to have faith, I feel it's like they're telling me to eat a bowl of peas. And guys, I don't like peas. That stuff gets me gross, right? So then what does it mean to have faith in a really difficult and really tricky situation or season in your life? And I want to say this. Feeling like you're having faith or holding on to faith in the middle of a storm has got nothing to do with how you feel or your emotions. Our emotions are very deceiving, and often we will be overwhelmed by anxiety. Remember, the enemy comes at us, man, with stuff that we see and hear. And then in moments of weakness, which we usually are in when we are struggling, we believe that, and we get deceived by that, and then we feel battle weary, and we feel overwhelmed, and we feel anxious. And so our feelings are not a great guide in terms of having faith, right? In my experience, what having faith looks like in a season of storm is not some bumper sticker illusion of happiness or joy in the middle of the storm. Sometimes joy is not with me in the storm. But what is with me is the truth of God's promises, always and forever, unyieldingly and unapologetically, right? And so I can stand on the truth of God's word in spite of the fact that I feel out of control, that I feel exhausted, that I am stressed. And in spite of all of that, I can choose to say what my having faith looks like in this season isn't a window-dressed joy, or a window-dressed happiness, or a window-dressed I'm calm. But it is to keep meditating on the truth of God's word for me in this season. And I know, and from my personal experience, I know how hard that can be. I know how complicated that can be, because our minds spiral so quickly. I don't know about you guys, but mine, when those hamsters have a board meeting, things can go very, very skew very quickly. And so a mechanism that I've created for myself and for Lily, to help us press into what God has said and what God has done, versus being distracted by the chaos of a terrible season, or even the pressure to have faith and pretend it's okay, or pretend that I've got it all covered, right? Let me just I've created something that I call my altar of remembrance. So let me just take you back to OT vibes. Whenever God had done something or intervened, or there was a covenant or a blessing, the ancients built these altars of remembrance so that they could remember what God had done in that moment and remember his promises. And an adaptation for that in my life is a little vase that I have created. And every time God has shared a word with me, or someone has encouraged me, or God has shown up in a difficult time and a miracle has happened, I write that moment down on a piece of paper and I put that in the vase, my little miracle vase, my little altar of remembrance, because I know that it's impossible for me to have faith in the absence of God's truth in seasons of trouble. And a mechanism beyond sitting in his word every day and making sure that that is what's saturating my mind, right? I have this rear view mirror of all the things God has done in my life when I was desperate, and even the way he's blessed me when I wasn't. I have this miracle jar that Lily and I pour into all the time. And you know when that makes, so we review all of that on the 31st of December every year, and we just give thanks and we walk into the new year with great expectation. But guys, when I'm on my knees and I am in terror because I cannot see my next steps and I cannot see how things can be solved, or all I have to go on is the lie of the enemy, right? I take out that jar and I just read moment after moment, miracle after miracle, prophecy after prophecy, word after word, what God has done in my life. And that rear view mirror moment of taking a look back to say where God has shown up. God has always shown up, and that gives me comfort that in this season, he's got me and he will show up as he has always done. And so I get very when people tell me to just have faith when things are going strong, because I don't know what that means. I've never known, what does it mean to have faith when things are falling apart, your marriage is in shambles, you're in debt, you can't feed your kids, you can't put them through school, you're losing a loved one. What does it mean to have faith? I just feel like that's the most unhelpful one-liner. But what I think people mean when they say that is guard your thoughts, guard your mind and guard your heart against what you are seeing in the natural and what you are hearing in the natural, and root your entire identity in what God has to say through his word. And then just love yourself enough to create some sort of miracle jar or altar of remembrance, and write down the moments where God has just loved on you in some special way, when he has just blessed you, when he has saved you, when he has protected you. And when you are going through a really rough time, you take out that jar and you read all of the ways in which God has shown up for you. And you know that because he is faithful, he will do what he's always done. He'll do what he has always done. And I just really wanted to encourage you guys today, because I know that there are a few people in my life specifically that are going through a season right now. And I don't know that telling them to have faith is the most helpful thing in the world, but telling them to stand on what God's word says, to believe his word and not what they see or hear, and to go and reflect on all the ways in which he's shown up. That feels like a way more helpful version of have faith. And just know that if you don't feel faithful or strong, that does not mean that God is not with you, and that does not mean that you are not in faith. You are going through a bit of a dog show. And when we're going through dog shows, there's no window dressing. Hopefully you're in an environment where you don't have to window dress. It's okay not to be okay. It's okay. It's okay to be 1000% a mess and a blob on the floor. It's 1000% okay. And from that place, you calibrate everything inside of you to focus only on the one who has promised that he will work all things to the good of those who love him. And it doesn't mean that it's to the ease of those who love him. It doesn't mean it's without issues to those who love him. It's for our good. And so I just wanted to encourage you. If you're going through a storm, you're not alone. Don't listen to what you see. Don't listen to what you hear. Don't listen to what you see. That stuff is the enemy's attack, right? Stand on the truth of God's word. Stand on the truth he's spoken over your life and over the situation, and reflect on all the ways in which he has shown up for you, because a God that has always shown up for you is a God that will always show up for you. And I hope that was encouraging to you guys. Till next week, stay strong.